dignitaries and delegates, hello and welcome to this fascinating fireside conversation on films and tourism with what should I say, the global star of the Academy Award winning film RRR and many other things. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it deserves a big round of applause over again. You know, I have to say this. I'm pretty sure over the past 6 months, you got tired of talking about the Oscar fever, that the RRR, put the whole world through. And we were so excited watching this development from here in India. So you will have to excuse me because I will have to ask you this, which is, what was it like going through the whole Oscar campaign in the United States, of course, which is a G20 member country, in Japan, where you also went and promoted the film, which is another G20 country. I mean, what was that craze? What did you see? What did you make of it? What did you learn?
Firstly, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, to all my G20 friends and all the dignitaries, and my special thank you to Krishan Ji, our tourism minister, and all the dignitaries who are here, and Khanji, and Mr. Arvind, who has taken the pleasure to invite me. All of you, thank you so much for having me. Shekhar, thank you for having me. I never get tired talking about. They say, let's talk less about our achievements. But RRR is so special. I shy away from talking about my achievements. I feel like a third person when somebody is talking about our achievements. I feel like I'm listening about somebody else. That's how detached I am with my work. But not with RRR. RRR is not just my film, it has become India's film. Indian people have owned it. And I want to correct my statement, it's not just India. People from the East and the West and the North and the South, all the countries have owned it. My dear friend, the Korean ambassador is here. I've seen your video, sir. Thank you so much. What a tribute to RRR. It is not our song anymore. Fantastic, so right after the session, I am excited to have a dance-off with you. So like I'm saying, it's not my movie, it's not my song, it's not my Academy Award, it's not my director, my composer who won it, it's the people who won it. It's the people who have taken it to the Academy, it's to the Golden Globe. And for me to get having an opportunity to talk about it again, it's not about talking about me, it's talking about the people and people's love for the song.
But tell me something, Ram. I mean, of course, we mentioned the fact that its box office figures are very well known. It's 1,200 crore, as was rightly pointed out at the beginning of this conversation. But hey, we are looking at a film that became the most watched international film in the history of Netflix. And pretty much everywhere you look, someone or the other is dancing to Nadu Nadu. And you've already said you're going to be doing it in the end. So I'm going to take your word for it. What explains this unique and universal connect to this particular film in an international way, in a way that everyone in the world could see and just be drawn to it?
Shekhar, I really don't know what it is and what it takes to make a song like this and take an award in Hollywood or LA, going to those Golden Globes. I really don't know. When I did the song, we shot this song for 17 odd days. When I talk about that song, my knees still wobble. I get knee pains. So, I don't know. When you do, you just do it. And you do it for the passion of the song. And I swear to God, none of the team members knew it is going to reach. We were so happy for what the appreciation we got in India. The highest grossing film in India. We were more than happy, and I actually moved on to my next project. And then we got a call saying some theaters, the Chinese theater in LA, some audience are really appreciating your film. I said, okay, good. 250, 350 people, 650 people in one theater enjoying it. And that became viral. And we've been getting calls from the best studios, the best film friends from the other industry. And wow, that's now I couldn't stop it.
So you just like took it because it's just happening the way it is, and there's no point in thinking and redoing this in any case, right? It is what it was. Did you have a crazy fan moment? Did you like look at this person and go, what's going on here?
It's 95 years since our industry has begun.
Mm.
It took 95 years for our Indian film industry to get a recognition internationally. I'm just proud of that fact that the West or the East have taken interest in our films and our emotion, which is so rooted to our culture, our traditions, not aping any other country's feelings or emotions. This is a true Indian director, true Indian producer, a true Indian actors, and a true Indian emotion. And this went across the globe and achieved what it achieved. I'm just proud. I thank my director for doing this. It is not a Hollywood studio hiring us as actors,
right,
casting us. No, this is a pure Desi film.
Which makes complete sense. And you also became, in every way, the global face of India through its cinema, through those months, and through RRR, of course. And I'm just wondering, if you were to meet, and you did meet so many filmmakers from across the globe when you were out there in the US and other countries as well, if you were to invite filmmakers from across the world to this country to come and shoot, especially someone who's been in films for so long, what would the place, where would you start from? What kind of places would you definitely tell filmmakers from across the world to come and shoot here? What are the cool places that you've shot at?
God, I've shot in many countries, from the east to the north. I've shot in Iceland,
right,
the coldest.
But the coolest place you shot here in India.
In India.
Yeah. So if you were to invite filmmakers from around the world.
It is so cliched right now if I say this. You won't believe. I swear to God, please guys, don't take me for this word. Kashmir is that kind of a place. I've been coming here because my dad is in the same industry. He's been working as an actor since 45 years. So I'm the second generation in my family. I was coming here since I was probably 1986. That's the first time I visited Kashmir. My dad has shot extensively in Gulmarg, Sonmarg, all these beautiful areas. I used to come as a child. It used to be something, if I was invited by my dad to Kashmir, it used to be like I have achieved something that summer, in the summer holidays. It's like an achievement. And you would not believe, I have shot in this auditorium 2016, in this beautiful auditorium in Kashmir, a movie called Dhruva, where I play a police academy who's graduating out of a police academy. I've shot in this, I've sat in that chair and I've shot. And this place has something magical. It draws people. It draws the attention of people. And no matter what we hear about Kashmir or whatever, this is such a surreal feeling when you come to Kashmir. It's been 95 years Indian film industry has begun. It will take another 95 years to explore Kashmir, let me tell you that. It's that beautiful. In one lifetime, as a tourist, living, as an Indian, and I feel when I come to Kashmir as a tourist, because it's something I look up to. Wow, my dad is taking me to Kashmir, that means I've done something good. This is a beautiful, untapped place. And I also slightly feel people don't tap it too much because it is so raw, it is so virgin, it is so unkept, so untapped. I want this beautiful paradise on earth to remain like this. Sometimes there are some beautiful forest reserves in India, from the north to the south, and most of it we speak and most of it is unknown. And especially in Andhra Pradesh, we have this Srinagar forest, Amrabad. It's got the biggest tiger reserve. 65 plus tigers we have. It is the largest tiger reserve in India. And my wife works with the tribals and the community there to keep them occupied, not to indulge themselves in helping the poachers, giving them a job, the cultural things they have, making wax candles out of the bee honeys and the wax that it comes out of it, giving them some kind of a job to continue and have them earn money. This is very important. I used to tell my wife, why don't you construct a beautiful resort like Ranthambore Forest or Kaziranga, Jim Corbin? She said, I was begging the government not to do anything here because the tigers are so peaceful in these tiger reserves that the tourists should not come and disturb us. We have such beautiful reserves. Now, did I speak against the tourism?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Well, so long as you keep that distance, right, I think you can do both tourism and sustainability. As Minister Singh pointed out, and I didn't realize he's an absolute encyclopedia of Hindi cinema, he really wants you.
First Indian movie was Raja Harishchandra.
That's good. This is more than 95 years, yeah.
It's been 110 years.
Right.
Well, yes.
1930, that's right.
Yes. Yeah.
And he wants you, and I think he's seen you moving your legs. The only other person who could do it was Shami Kapoor. So I guess you played a cop last time. You'll have to do the Nadu in Kashmir now. That's what he wants. So I think let's hope that happens soon.
Sure, sir. You're joining me to leadership. Absolutely. It's my honor.
But it has to be said, I mean, as a person, besides the fact that you travel for work and have shot across the world and in India as well, you travel a lot for leisure. You actually collect artifacts from places you go to. Where does that passion come from?
God, I don't know where this comes from. Because I'm not much into the art or the artifacts, but something that is meaningful and something that connects me to that city. When I go back, I usually collect something and it makes me remember of that country. And Europe has always been my favorite country. Now Japan has become my new favorite country. The culture, the people, it is a special country. I'll tell you why Japan. When we went to promote RRR in Japan,
It's huge in Japan.
it was huge. We did about 150 million in Japan, and I thank the Japanese audience. They are so warm. And it's in Japan. Why it's so famous, so special to me is my wife is carrying right now. She's in her 7th month, and the magic happened in Japan. So I will never forget Japan, and of course, to all the other G20 friends in the countries of India, each one are so special to India, the relationship with India, and especially film tourism. We all want to go and shoot in every country. All the countries are so rich in their culture, and we as Indian actors and Indian film, we want to explore our culture and their culture. I want to see how these two cultures can come together and create a phenomenon, which is the global cinema, not Indian cinema or any other country's cinema. I want to see a global cinema, and with all your support, I think it can happen.
You know, as Mr. Kant also said, I mean, Indian cinema is also one of the ways that Indians have accessed the world, right? And we've seen those places, we wanted to go there. To quote some recent examples, you can think of Turkey. A lot of people want to go to Turkey after they saw Turkey in the Jaraknido, right? A lot of Indians went to London in the 90s after they saw Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. Everybody wanted to be there, right? Which is the same thing as how everyone wanted to go to Goa after Dil Chahta Hai. Are there examples from your films where they've seen this and that's the country they want to go to? Or films that you've seen and because you've seen them, that's the country you want to go to?
Come to India. Please. India is so vast and it's so untapped. I don't know, a lot of people. Mr. Kishan Reddy, my honorable minister, has educated us about the vastness of India, from the Thar Desert and the east and the mountains, which is so vast. And the south, we have the beautiful culture, the God's own country, the Kerala backwaters. There are so many. I think I want to explore India more. I don't think I want to travel for my next couple of films unless the producer and the director is from Hollywood.
Right.
I want to stick to my culture. I want to stick here. And I want to educate that our Indian sentiments are so strong. Our culture is so strong. there is a lot of dignity in our stories. Nowadays when you see, it's not about South India, North Indian movies, it's about the Indian Mitti ka story. Our Desi stories are coming out finally. And I'm sure that the other countries, when they see what is good, why should I go to an Indian cinema theatre? Why should I see an Indian cinema? Not to see what they've already experienced. They want to see what is India. And today our lovely directors are showing what is India on the silver screen.
Which you have. And I think it might be fair to suggest that even without going to those countries, cinema is a great way for us to travel through our eyes. You don't need a passport, you don't need a plane ticket, you certainly don't need a visa. You can just watch a film and think that you've been to that country and that you will return. And Indian cinema has played that role hugely, right? Now, one of the things is that, which a lot of people don't realize, is how many films we make in a year. And that it's not just films that are made in Mumbai. There are films made in Chennai, there are films made in Bangla, in Kolkata, there are films made down, in the industry that you belong to, which is also the industry, which is also the city where Minister Reddy is from. Tell us a little more about the cinema that comes from Hyderabad. That's another face that you are of and have been for many years. How is Indian mainstream cinema different from other cinemas? And how is cinema that comes from Hyderabad different from other mainstream cinemas in India?
That's a very intense question.
We have the time in the world.
No, I don't know if I have the knowledge to answer that.
Okay. You have all the experience.
Yeah, I'll try to say
Yes.
what I have from my experience. There are much better people, legends who can talk about this and give you the right answer. This is one industry that has paid my EMIs, which I grew up in, paid my bills, made me who I am, made my dad who he is, and the great legends we have in our country. It was for a long time not recognized as an industry, but today it is a film industry. And thank God it is. And this film industry is something, it is the best form of entertainment in India, which can make you forget of all the worries. Because India, with 1.8 billion people, we have 1.8 billion problems. These films we make in India, sometimes people don't connect in the West. They're like, why are they dancing? Why are they fighting? Why are they dancing so much? But this is our culture. Every film industry, every country makes movies according to their culture. If you see Norwegian movies, Scandinavian movies, they are so beautiful. It's all about the green. It's about the ecosystem.
And quiet.
And they're protecting the ocean, protecting the vast land. And the West, you have some serious films, the critical films, critically acclaimed. In India, when you're happy, you dance in my house. When you're sad, you dance. When you're wondering, what do I do? I still dance. So dance and song and dance is part of our culture. And that comes into the movie, fortunately or unfortunately, and we Indians love it. And aesthetically, when you shoot it in a nice way, I think the whole world will love it. And that is an example why RRR was loved and why Natu Natu got the best song in the Academy.
I have to say, for someone watching cinema from Hyderabad from a distance, I live in Mumbai, one of the things that intrigues me is its star system as well, right? For instance, when I say Ramcharan, that's great, but I think if I said mega power star, everyone will get it. Your father, the great Charan, is called the mega star. Your uncle, Pawan Kalyan, is called the power star. So you become the mega power star. Firstly, tell me, where do these names come from? How are these decided? Is there a committee that decides, okay, now we call them mega and power because father and uncle?
Not at all. It comes from the love of people, and it comes from the fans who love us, and it's because of them we are all sitting here and enjoying this life. And they have different ways of calling us. Sometimes they say Anna, they say Bhai to Salman. To my dad, they say Chiru, Megastar. It's all coming when you are brimming with lots of emotions, and your volcanic reaction comes. They just have a way to call you. That's it. It's just coming from the love of the audience.
And you've also grown up with that love, watching the world around you love your father so much. Chiranjeevi, Chiru as fans also call him, and megastar as well. Is it tough to be so illustrious? I mean, we talk about, nepotism, blah, 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 but it's actually tougher when you have to live up to something so huge. It's hard to grow up under a banyan tree usually. Was that tough for you, or is it still tough for you, Ram?
It was very difficult as a child because I could not get out of my house when I wanted. I could not sneak out of my house. I could not sneak out in the night,
Right.
go with my friends. So that's difficult.
Okay.
Apart from that,
Because everyone knows you. I saw you there.
there's so many people in the house, you just cannot sneak out of your house.
Okay.
Take your dad's car and drive it in the roads.
Right.
Jokes apart, I think it's only a pleasure. It was never a pressure for me. It was only a pleasure to be born. And I think I work best under pressure.
Okay.
And that pressure was my motivation. Waking up till today, my dad is 68 years. He has signed about 4 films.
Wow.
He's one of the highest paid actors now at 68. He's giving us a challenge. He wakes up at 5:30 still and works out, goes out. Even one day if I'm feeling lazy, I'm like, man, I need to get up. So it is a lot of stress to be his son. So there's not a single day I can rest. But I'm glad I have a family like this, I have an audience like this that are looking forward for our work. And henceforth, thanks to RRR, that the world has really embraced us. From Korea, Japan, LA, and the East and the West, everybody has really embraced us. It's more of a responsibility now. It's not just my being dad's son.
Right.
It's being the world's actor, global actor. It just doesn't come and sit on your shoulder just like that. You have to work for it. I can lose this opportunity. I can lose this charm even tomorrow if I don't work for it. Every single day I have to wake up and say I have to give something back to all my fans who have appreciated my work, who have embraced our films, who have embraced Indian films. If not now, there's no other time. Now is the time. You have to do it for the world cinema.
In 2009, when you made Magadhira with S.N. Rajamouli, the fantastic director, a star director now, that was the biggest commercial success in Telugu cinema at the time. And then you took that leap with the same director with RRR, which is the biggest global success we've had from Indian cinema. How did that leap happen? I mean, we're looking from a film made for one region, largely, to a film that the world, was there a leap in terms of imagination? Was there a leap in terms of the budgets went up because Bahubali was already made by Rajamouli before? How does this big leap happen, or are we just in the right place, the right time in India's history? Everything's going to be big now.
You're right. I think we were at the right place in the right time. I wish we knew the world will embrace us. Then the budgets would have been much better. My salary, my remuneration, my salary would have been better.
Right.
But no, we didn't. We just was making a very straightforward Indian emotional Indian subject, a rooted subject. And I feel, how come? There's a friend of mine who was asking me, how come Ram, the West or the East, liked our Indian emotion? I said, there is the answer. An emotion doesn't have any language. An emotion doesn't have any color. Emotion is emotion. You feel it, you enjoy it, you love it, and you embrace it. I think that's what my directors have always cracked it, and my special director, Rajamouli Garu, has cracked it even better than anybody else. And we paved the path for all the other directors to say, wish for it, imagine it, dream for it, and the world is at your call, at your feet. I would not say feet, but yeah, at your disposal.
Well, you're on the screen, so you could be at the peak. You'll be looking up on the big screen, and it's almost in that distance. You're also a producer, Ram, And I think this is a great opportunity for you. And this is the final word I want you to have coming back to films and tourism. You're sitting with some of the top stakeholders in films and television on tourism. If you were, and a policy is also going to be announced, if you were to your wish list as a producer, as a filmmaker, on things that everyone should do to make sure that films and tourism are promoted simultaneously, what would your advice or your wish list be to all these people who are sitting here?
I mean, this event that is happening right now is an example. It's a great example. We all used to dream of an event like this, where all our friends, all the G20 friends come to our country and learn our country and experience our cuisine, experience our colors, experience our festivals, experience everything about India. And today, thanks to Sri Narendra Modi ji, our Prime Minister, who made it happen, and along with him, all the great ministers, Kishan ji, and all the other dignitaries who made it and made it possible, we could not imagine this. Mr. Shekhar, this never happened. It happened now. So we should appreciate it. And I think India, you don't have to talk about India. India is so vast, it is spoken. I think there's a lot said about India, there's a lot seen about India. I think just come and experience it. It will be a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I promise you, please go back home and bring all your family and friends. I promise you, you will never regret it.
I'm going to end this conversation on the most important question to be asked, honestly speaking. This is something that everyone who's here really wants to know from you. What does Natu mean?
My knees wobbling.
What these two words mean? Yes.
Should I get very emotional about it, or should I be nice and
First, get dictionary about it. What does it mean? Because there are multiple meanings even online.
Natu in Telugu means.
They first said dance, but apparently not.
Kishan garu meer Telugu varu. Natu.
Then they said raw.
It's
right.
rural. It's the flavor of your city or your country. Natu. But in Hindi it became Natu.
Natural.
Right. I don't know. So I think this question should not be answered. Just enjoy the song.
I think what is most important is for the ambassador from South Korea to please come up on stage, and we have to have some Natu movement happening on the stage, please.